So I went back out. Like, are you done? She says, are you done already?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. But we're done with the pre-show. What do you talk about during the pre-show? Well, we talk about all the stuff that we don't talk about during the show. Isn't that the point of you guys getting together every week?
You know what that tells me? Members only show.
For a very select slice of our listening audience.
Yeah. Mostly the ones that won't sue us or cancel us. And that was more true this time. How about this? I don't.
Oh, we can't talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that. If we did, here's what I would say. Yeah, I know that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's good. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. How about this topic? Can't talk about that topic. No. Because if we did, here's the jokes and the punchlines. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. See?
Can't say that.
30 minutes later, I got to go get some water and a little more whiskey. Okay.
Is this the show? All right.
Levels.
Hey, we're recording on Wednesday. Did you know that the Olympics started today?
Yes. Aren't we? Check me here. Aren't we 2 days before the opening ceremonies?
We are. Yes, absolutely. Yes. But
whatever.
Well, I have a theory on that though, because the opening ceremonies they're going to put all the athletes in the Seine and take them down the boats, and there's a question whether or not they cleaned all the poo out of the Seine. So they're going to start the competition at least 2 days early so they can get something in before they have all. Anyway, did you? Okay, so they started.
Speaking of poo, sorry, I skipped ahead.
Play the other theme. Nope. Did you happen to see the soccer match between Morocco and Argentina today?
I didn't. France wasn't playing. Somebody scored a goal.
Well, yeah, it was a little bit more than that. So I believe Morocco was ahead 2-0, and then Argentina came back to make it 2-1, and then Argentina scored in the 16th minute of stoppage time to make it 2-2.
What?
Yes. At which point the Moroccan fans got very upset, ran onto the pitch and threw bottles and flares to the point that the teams had to be removed from the field. And then it was announced that the game was suspended, and then they had to remove all the fans from the stadium. And then 2 hours later, the teams came back onto the pitch.
Oh, sweet Lord.
For VAR to announce that the goal that they got pissed off about wasn't, there was a problem leading up, no goal, and play the final 3 minutes in front of an empty stadium because of all of the fan violence for protesting a goal that didn't count. So there was a 2-hour stoppage because of a goal scored in the 16th minute of stoppage time.
That's oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah, I mean it was bad. I mean the whole thing was, no crowd control, players safety, flares, stuff being thrown. It was a really, really, really bad look for the Olympics.
Yeah, but it's still a step ahead of Copa America. Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dewayne Johnson and Todd Prins, where failure is and storming the pitch. Failure and storming the pitch, always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm not floating down the Seine this week, so I'll count that as a bonus.
Speaking of other news, and not to get too far down into the weeds on this, but did you see that Snoop Dogg is carrying the torch for the Olympics?
I that's one of those where it goes past in your news feed and you go, France has selected Snoop Dogg to be one of the last torchbearers to the stadium. And you're like, then you just scroll past it. And then you're like, hold on, scroll back.
Like,
did I read what I think I just read?
Are they afraid the torch is going to go out and they're going to need somebody to be able to light it up? I mean, I don't want to be too blunt here.
Hey, what time is Snoop getting the torch? Oh, right around 4:20.
About for that, yep, that would be when.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Jesus. Why?
It said he's only the second American who is going to carry the torch throughout France through the entire 2-month thing that they have done this, and the other person was a vice president for Best Buy. Okay, I don't know what the selection criteria is, but somewhere there is a selection criteria that at the bottom, after you run everything through it, gets you a vice president for Best Buy and Snoop Dogg in the same group, and they go, let's roll with it.
Yeah. Hey, that's a Venn diagram that I get. Okay, fine, whatever. Lord. So we're going to have a couple weeks of feedback, follow-up, and updates. Well, follow-up on Olympics. I'm sure we'll have feedback on that cold open. Should we do this week's feedback, follow-up, and updates?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
So as has been well established, okay, so this is from toddler number 1.
Yeah.
Lisa thinks the thanks Eli joke has run itself out.
I'm just gonna do a real-time correction.
Yes.
She thought it was never funny to begin with. And has run itself out.
Okay.
Yeah. It never started. It should have never started, and definitely should have never continued.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amy doesn't like it when we say Tour de France.
I get that. I get that, but I just every time I hear it, I just go back to the original commercials. And here's the funny thing. Because Bob was a professional cyclist, you wouldn't know it by looking at him. But I mean, he still goes out and Bob Roll goes out and rides portions of the course every day on the tour before, like he gets up in the morning and goes rides part of it so that he can talk about it. Like he's still incredibly, but because he's a professional cyclist, he lived in Europe for many years. His French is excellent. So the fact that they had him doing the commercial as the sort of the hillbilly from America who doesn't know how to say it, and yet when you listen to the broadcast, he just says he explains what the name of the chateau is or whatever, and he just rolls it right. It's like, oh yeah, because you lived in Europe and you had to speak French on the. I don't know if that makes it funnier or less. To me, it makes it funnier that it's like, hey, let's get the native French, not the native. Let's get the fluent French speaker to butcher the language.
Let's see. Also, did we need to know what class of frigate it was? Oh, it's a brigadier class frigate. Amy's like, oh, that helps. That makes so much more sense. Now that you've told us that it's a brigadier class frigate. Oh, of course they use whatever. Anywho, brigadier class frigates.
Did you need to know? No, but do you know? Yes. So
okay, so I am now going to jump ahead to feedback that we got from Monica Hearn. The note she sent me was, I'm not sure why, but this felt like a podcast topic. And the picture says the abbreviation EG doesn't stand for example given. It stands for exempli gratia, for example, and IE stands for id est, in other words. And they are not interchangeable. It's pedantic minutia, and yes, I'm here for it.
So you're saying that those basically, they're not interchangeable e.g., replaceable and irreplaceable. Did I? No, I did that. Did I do that right? No, I
I'm
did.
not sure. I'm not sure you did that right.
Yes, it would make a good podcast. What I will tell you is there are other podcasts I listen to that would turn that into 50 minutes of explaining the etymology that got us to that point. And you're like, that sounds terrible. But if done with a budget and researchers and talent, you're after 45 minutes, you're like, is this almost over? Are you doing a part 2?
Meanwhile, we've spent 45 seconds on it, and it felt like 45 minutes.
That's our gift.
That's what we bring to the table.
Yes.
We got an email from Jesse.
Excuse me. Who?
Dr. Jesse.
Thank you.
I sit corrected. Hello, Dewayne and Todd. Do you want to read this?
If you've got it pulled up, that would be great because I don't, but I can pull it up quick.
Hello, Dewayne and Todd. The following news came across my desk earlier this week, and I thought it would be relevant for the Vegas, not Vegas segment of the show. There's a lot of content and a video in this article. Excelsior, Jesse Taylor, DPP, Chair, Taylor Center for Technology Policy, and locations, Ruby Valley and Clark County. God, I love it.
And he's suggesting that because apparently the chair of Clark County, that is not his name. No, that is, now we're just being punked. Chair Tick Segerblom. I believe he's of the Brandenburg Segerbloms. No, sorry. Anyway, just trying to. Anyway, he is proposing that Clark County, which Dewayne, Vegas, not Vegas, Clark County.
The things that are not Vegas are Clark County.
And technically Las Vegas is Clark County too. I mean,
well, that's true. Yes. But when we talk about Vegas, not Vegas, the unincorporated, most of what is not Vegas, like the Strip, is unincorporated Clark County.
Yes. So Chair Tick, sure, wants to fix that problem. He would like to rename Clark County to Las Vegas County. He points out everybody lives in Las Vegas, but most people don't actually live in the city of Las Vegas.
He must be a listener.
Exactly. You know what? I think hey, welcome to the podcast, Tick. So yes, he wants to change it, which of course, here's the thing. If that does happen, because the city of Las Vegas would then be inside the county of Las Vegas, we're getting an Apple TV on Apple TV kind of situation going on here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Well, while they're at it, though, I mean, they just changed the name of McCarran Airport to Harry Reid International Airport. While you're at it, just change that to Las Vegas Airport. So then you could be flying into Las Vegas to go to drive through Las Vegas to get to Las Vegas.
They spent $7 million on that name change several years ago. And they still haven't gotten done changing all of the signs yet. I don't want to know what happens when they change not Vegas to Vegas.
Here's the thing, though. Clark County is massive. 90 miles outside of Las Vegas is still Clark County. So that's a lot of signs that no one reads that will have to be changed.
Stickers. Lots of stickers. We're not changing signs. We're just adding stickers.
No, but you know what they could do then? You know how we played Vegas, not Vegas, and the welcome to Las Vegas sign that everybody pulls over and takes their picture, Dewayne, Vegas, not Vegas.
Not Vegas. If
Clark County became Las Vegas County, you could put those signs way, way out.
That's true.
Welcome to Las Vegas. This seems like in the middle of nowhere. Yes. Congratulations.
Do you remember in Chuck where Captain Awesome planned a bachelor party to go to Las Vegas, except he took them to the Las Vegas hiking county park or something. Not Las Vegas, but the other Las Vegas, and they went mountain hiking, camping for a yes instead of because everybody else thought they were going to Las Vegas anyway.
I can tell you this. If they try to go through with this, I am positive the city of Las Vegas will try to sue the county of Las Vegas to not use that sign. And somebody's going to have to. So each party is going to have to call Oakland International, San Francisco Bay Area Airport, and San Francisco International to say, how did you guys resolve this thing?
Let's see. Did you have any other feedback that you caught this week?
No, I did not.
Okay. No, actually's. Good show.
Excellent.
How about some follow up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Happy Pine Tar Day.
Oh, yeah. That keeps going around faster every year as well.
It's right after Bobby Bonilla Day. We celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day, and then 24 days later, we come storming out of the dugout to wish everybody happy.
Losing our ever-loving minds.
Was there any?
And to celebrate everybody, find somebody in a uniform and run up to them and scream in their face as loud as you can for as long as don't do that. Please don't do that.
I'm in Des Moines. I might actually be able to do that to Tim McClellan himself. Was there any Royce White news this week? There was lots of political news this week.
I'm actively avoiding him, so news about him.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, doing what I can. I did have, however, by the way, quick update. Speaking of an interesting week, Delta's had an interesting week.
Oh boy, no kidding.
And continues to have an interesting week as they not fly people around the country and the world. However, right before that happened, I did see a press release that said that Delta has announced that their journey to provide free Wi-Fi on all their planes had originally been scheduled to be done by the end of 2024. However, satellite coverage limitations has now pushed that into 2025. So the journey is going to take a little bit longer. Also, because as we found out, there's a ton of planes that just don't have this. But it's the satellites; it's not the planes. However, Delta is expecting, on a positive note, that I just love. We've gotten rid of all floppy disks except this one. We've completed this on most routes. Just weasel words. Anyway, Delta expects the jets operating on most transatlantic routes will be equipped with fast free Wi-Fi by the end of the summer. But they actually believe it could be another year until it gets completely rolled out. So we're going to have to keep dealing with this for another year.
Apparently, they were spending time on their journey to free Wi-Fi instead of spending time on their journey to internal software updates.
Well, you could make an argument that maybe not updating the software was the best thing they could have done.
It worked for Southwest.
Well, I was going to say everything was fine until CrowdStrike said, what would be good right now is an update. Whoops.
Oh, one line of code. One line of code is all it takes to create havoc.
Well, and I think the funny thing is like, man, hey, I don't mean to be smug about this because this could happen to any group, but it's sort of like, man, that seems really bad. How could they have possibly fixed it? Hey, Kevin, you got the Mac, right? Can you set that from greater than to less than? I get those confused. I don't know which way the alligator mouth is supposed to go. I think I screwed that up. Yeah, just press that again. Thanks, bud. Is he hungry? I don't.
Control Z. re-release. Oh, look, we're fixed. Fine. Whatever. It is what it is.
I also had one other bit of follow-up.
Okay.
Going back and listening to the witchwitchdoctor.com episode from 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I also realized that there was another website that I should have also from that exact same episode. I missed the opportunity at the end to do a funny little callback to get another episode, because not only should I have registered witchwitchdoctor.com, but according to that episode, I should have also registered witchunclejesse.com.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, you should have.
Yeah. It's going to get expensive. This is going to get really expensive. Anyway, that's what I had.
You know what? I think it's game time.
What time is it? Game time. Woo!
Okay, Dewayne, this one there's a lot. You're going to be getting to guess multiple numbers this one, because I have for you, because the Olympics are kicking off, I have an Olympic themed Dewayne guess. Actually, it's not Dewayne guess a number. It's Dewayne guess lots of numbers, Olympic style. That's right. You're never going to get it. Okay. Dewayne, I have a number of sports here. I'm going to give you the name of the sport. And potentially, if needed, I can probably tell you what the sport is. The number I want you to guess is how many Olympic Games has this sport been contested?
Oh, I am so screwed. Okay.
Also, just
like since 1922, since 1918.
So we go back. So the first one, it was 1896 was the first modern. Okay. And for reasons that are 1900 and 1904 are considered official Olympic Games, even though they kind of weren't official Olympic Games, but the IOC has embraced them. There was also, again, this is pedantic for no apparent reason. However, there was also another Olympic Games held in 1906 that the Olympics kind of says not really official. So it doesn't include the 1906 asterisk games or whatever. Okay.
So they treat it like women's basketball before 19. Never mind. Sorry. Next. Okay. Yes.
Or baseball before they went to 100 and before they went to 162 games. Yeah, right.
And before they included all the Negro League games.
Yeah, I got thoughts about that. Anyway, okay, but not here. Anyway, okay.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. How many games? So what is the maximum number? If a sport had been contested in absolutely every single Olympics, what's the maximum number, please? If you could, will you give me that?
Yes. While I count on Wikipedia, can you please vamp, or or you can just play some interlude music that won't get us banned or will anyway. Oh, this is good. Hold on.
33, 35.
This is the games of officially the games of the 33rd Olympiad. So we'll say 33.
Let's say 33. Okay.
Yeah.
The Larry Bird of Olympics. Okay.
Yes. And by the way, just so that you're aware,
yes,
0 is an option.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. I want to make that clear, because some of these are crazy. So it's your choices go from this never appeared in Olympics all the way up to 33.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Live pigeon shooting.
Are the pigeons live? Are the participants?
The pigeons are live to begin, but not at the end. And the pigeons don't have the guns. This is not, the pigeons aren't shooting. This is shooting at live pigeons for a medal.
5?
That was in one and only one Olympic Games.
It seems like an early 20th century kind of deal.
1900, the second Olympic Games.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
I'll believe that. Yes. Okay.
All right. How about tug of war?
1.
Oh.
Didn't they do it in the last one?
No, that was in 5 Olympic Games.
Oh, I must have confused. I was confusing that.
Oh, yeah. There was a whole, That was in 1900, 1904, 1908, 1912, and 1920.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, in the 1908 games, the winning team was a group of police officers from Liverpool who apparently were very strong. Okay. Pistol dueling.
That never happened.
So technically it happened twice, officially once. So in 1906, which is the one that doesn't count, they dressed mannequins to look like their opponent and turned and shot. In 1908, the one that is official, however, they actually shot at each other using wax bullets.
Seems like a great idea.
Yep. That's a little late. Aaron Burr, sir, could have done could have been pretty good in that. Rope climbing.
3.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the bell on that one. Do you want to take a guess of any of the years that may have taken place? This is just,
In the 40s?
Nope. That was in the original game of 1896, 1904, 1924, and 1932. Okay. Solo synchronized swimming. Synchronized to what? I have no effing idea, but solo synchronized swimming. He's not a strong swimmer.
He's synchronized. It's synchronized to the music.
Okay.
1 before they got laughed out of the pool.
3. This first appeared in Los Angeles in 1984. Oh, that tracks.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And then in 1988 and then in 1992. Okay. Distance plunging.
So, like, the toilet is so full, you have to do it from across the room? You chuck
2024 Seine River distance plunging.
I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't. Hold on. As from the CBC, it involved diving into the water and then going as far as possible underwater, distance-wise, without moving any body parts. So the winner was whoever coasted the longest distance in 60 seconds or until they floated to the surface, whichever came up. So you jumped off of a diving board, and then you didn't swim underwater. You floated for distance and tried to stay underwater as long as possible by distance or 60 seconds.
Without moving your arms or feet.
Yes.
Given your description, this sounds like a real thing. 4 times?
I realized as I cited a source, that was a mistake on my part. It happened once in 1904.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was
caught underwater.
And only one country competed in the event. Okay. Couple more here, just to
what if you had an Olympic competition and nobody showed up?
Somebody will come out of the stands. You got a medal? I want a medal. Okay. Dewayne, you've heard of high jumping, right?
Yes.
You know what that is?
I do.
Right? And you know that we also have equestrian events, right? There's dressage and a couple of horse dancing. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's a thing. How about equestrian high jump? where you try to see how high a rider I'm taking similar to biathlon, where we're taking shooting and skiing and putting it together. What about equestrian high jump?
You're fine until you try to do the flop and the horse lands on you.
Yeah, don't rotate. Don't rotate.
Don't take it head on. Just, I'm guessing they only did it once before deciding it was a bad idea.
That is true. They did that one time in 1900.
Okay.
Also in 1900, in the equestrian track and field events, was also, if you did equestrian high jump, do you know what else they did?
Equestrian long jump?
Yes, they did. Yes, that was also an event. Yes.
I thought maybe they'd do pole vault.
It's really hard to get the hooves around the pole to. That's your problem. Okay.
One more? Yeah.
I've got 3 more.
Okay.
Firefighting.
No, I think no.
That was an event in the 1900 Olympics. By the way, the 1900 Olympics was wild.
No kidding.
They had the Olympics 4 years prior. There wasn't like a plan to have it every 4 years. So they had it. By the way, the 1900 Olympics were held in Paris because the World's Fair was there. So they just did some events that included firefighting and horse long jumping and horse high jumping. It was 5 months long.
Hey, as long as we're getting together, why not?
Sure, we'll give it a shot. Okay. Speaking of which, by the way, also one that I didn't give you that was also in 1900, hot air balloon racing. Go up. Wave your hands. Wave your hands. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Last one. This is actually painting. Olympic painting.
Do you get more points or fewer points when you paint happy little trees? Just put a happy little tree over here, some happy little clouds. It seems about as appropriate as dressage. 4 times?
7 times.
No, get out.
Between 1912 and 1948, there was arts components to the Olympics, and medals were given out in painting, sculpture, music, architecture, and literature.
Is this like a speed thing? How quickly can you paint a house?
I don't know, because, oh man, that would be a synergy thing though, right? So you have the house painting at the beginning of it, then you set it on fire and have the firefighter see how quickly you can put it out. Yeah, so anyway, yes, so the Arts Olympics, they did stop it. And by the way, here's the funny thing. They stopped it after 1948. Do you know why why do you think that they would stop sculpture, painting, architecture, literature from the Olympics after 1948?
I can't come up with anything funny. I don't know.
It's not exactly funny. This is more ironic. The concern after 1948 was that too many professional musicians, architects, and writers were entering into the Olympics, which, as we all know, is supposed to be for amateurs. So they got rid of the artistic section because they didn't want the professionals coming in and messing with the pureness of the Olympics and the pureness of being amateurs, and that they're all there just for the sake of being there, not for money.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men's Olympic basketball team from the United States.
Anyway, you did incredibly poorly on that.
I did.
But you got one, and I specifically crafted this for you to not get one. So give yourself a bell because you got through the obstacle course.
Woohoo! I just horse high jumped right over that. One of them. The rest of them I knocked down and failed miserably, but one I got. Should we do a couple of idiots?
Sure. Yeah. What do you have?
I brought one courtesy of Toddler -18. Sarah sent me a note this afternoon. So I apparently violated Facebook community standards for a post I did last year. She just got notified of this.
Oh,
about a post from last year
okay.
that violated the community standards. She posted spam, in quotes. Spam.
Yeah.
Was what she was accused of violating. The post in question was an obituary for a friend of ours who passed away last year. And their explanation was that posting spam is to gain likes and follows, and that's against community rules. Check me here. Isn't the point of Facebook to gain likes and follows?
Yeah. I mean, so many things. First of all, community standards on Facebook? What? I mean, I guess the reason why it took a year is because the one person that enforces those happened to see it.
I guess.
Number two, yeah, hey, you don't be trying to get likes and, what is it? Trying to get likes and
follows.
Yeah, you don't want that. I mean, come on. This is turning into social media versus anti-social media. I mean, my concern would be that what Facebook's really concerned about, anytime you don't understand something, right, you assume it's money. And I'm thinking Facebook or Nazis.
Or Nazis. Don't rule out Nazis.
Yeah. In this case, they may be one and the same. But in this case, the concern would be that you're spreading something that Facebook wants to make money off of. And, hey, you're spreading this thing that we should be getting our cut out of. But I'm not sure what the Facebook vig is on obituaries. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sweet.
So Facebook, my idiot of the week. How about you?
I'm just going to say this. For as long as we've been doing this segment, Facebook has been the idiot of the week surprisingly few times. It could be almost every week. As a matter of fact, Scott Frost has got to be sitting here going, hey, come on. Okay. What do I have for idiot of the week? So this is a politically adjacent story, but I'm not going to share.
Hold on, I'm getting my button ready.
No.
Okay.
I'm just going to call out the idiocy. I'm going to leave party affiliation and everything out of this because this is more just general idiot stuff that has little to do with the politics itself around it. So this is out of Arizona. A state senator, Justine Watsack, in March was pulled over in a traffic stop just after 10 p.m. She was cited. She was going 71 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone.
Oop.
Yes. Now, according to the body cam footage from the Tucson Police Department, the police officer said, "Do you have your driver's license, registration, and insurance?" At which point she replied, "Yes, I do. My name is Senator Justine Watsack, and I'm racing home because I have 4 miles left on my charger before I'm about to go down." She's driving a Tesla. Which, just real quick, if you have an electric car and you're low on range, you actually slow your speed down because the slower speed gets you further. Going faster actually burns the... Anyway, Never mind. Also, interesting enough, in addition to producing her driver's license, she produced her ID card that identified her as a state senator. Now, a couple things about that. Number one, she was rushing home to a house that is 10 miles away, which is allegedly her family home. However, that's not in her district. So according to her paperwork, she actually lives in an apartment 20 miles away inside of the district that she's in. But she identified that she was rushing home to the family house. That is definitely not where she lives, because that would mean that she wouldn't be eligible. That's not even the idiot part of this story, however.
I thought maybe she was rushing home.
I see what you did there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway.
Sorry, I got lost there.
Yes.
That's not the idiot part?
Yes. So here's the idiot part. Arizona state law, tell me if you've heard this one before, basically gives immunity to state legislators while the legislature is in session. They are almost immune. They are immune from almost everything. The idea being that a law enforcement person couldn't come in and arrest a state legislator and hold them to keep them from being able to potentially vote. So they have basic, almost unlimited immunity. So while the police officer pulled her over and let her know that she was doing 71 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, she was immune from getting even a ticket or a citation. He just had to inform her of that. Okay, well, that kind of sucks for all of us. However, on June 27th, a Tucson lieutenant called the senator to arrange delivering the ticket to her. You see, 12 days earlier, the legislature adjourned.
Oop.
And immunity goes away, even for things you're immune from prosecution during the legislature, but you are not immune for things that you did during the legislative session.
That's an important distinction. That matters. See, someone, God, I want to play the other theme. Somebody should go talk to the Supreme Court about this.
Anyway, yes. So she then demanded to speak with the chief of police.
You gotta tune into the other podcast, folks. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Okay,
we're going long this week on that one.
Oh, God, we are. Oh.
And she has called this is political persecution.
Get the F out.
For doing 71 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on in Arizona. Dewayne, apropos of nothing, I'm going to suggest... Now, the reason why I brought all this up is two reasons. Number one, well, a couple of reasons. Number one, I believe you and Amy are planning on spending a month in Arizona.
An undisclosed Arizona location that may or may not rhyme with Fuson.
Yes. So, and apparently you don't actually have to run for the state legislature there. You don't have to actually live in your district, and you're pretty much immune from anything during the legislation, and you're only planning on being there for 30 days. So my thought is, you don't have to move. You just run for the state legislature, and then you got 30 days where you can do whatever you want. It's really, really important for you to leave the state before it adjourns. By the way, I also believe this will help your golf game, because I think that you're allowed to do a foot wedge or almost anything else, and you're like, you can't touch me. Legislature's in session. That's a hole in one. You were there. It took you 6 strokes to get to the green. I say it's a hole in one. Anyway, there you go. That's there's your idiot out of Arizona. And once again, it involved a politician. Does it really matter what party that politicians aligned with?
No.
No. We shouldn't be acting this way. Anyway, more from, like you said, the other podcast. Got
Yes.
stuff to cover.
Oh my God.
All right.
This week, stuff that we're watching.
Yes.
Before we came in to record tonight, Amy and I finished Presumed Innocent.
Okay.
If you read the book or you watched the Harrison Ford version, this is not either of those.
Wow.
You gotta watch. It's very good. Jake Gyllenhaal is very good in this, as are most of the other actors. We also, did you know, not something that Todd ought to know, but I'm guessing something that Todd does know, all of the Star Treks, all of the movies, all of them dropped onto Paramount Plus in the last couple weeks?
I did not know that.
And I'm like, oh, well, I haven't seen Star Trek the Motion Picture, like the very first one from
Viger.
1979. Yeah, Viger. So we watched it. Amy says, well, I don't need to watch that ever again. Like, yeah, okay. It was closer to 1979. It seemed a whole lot cooler. And then they went and did like real movie kinds of things. Anyway, so they were just happy to be back wearing uniforms. So we watched 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 6, and then 5, and went, did we miss something? And I'm like, where was the one with the whales? I'm like, shouldn't the one with the whales have been in here somewhere? Where was that one? The difference between IV and VI is real. Are we going back to watch 4? Nope, we're moving on. So then we watched 7, which is the first one that
or V.
Yeah. Undiscovered Country was good. 2, it's like the even ones are decent.
Yes.
The odd ones, we got halfway through 5 and said, I'm not watching this. We're done. We turned it off. And then we didn't go and watch 4. Anyway, that's what we're watching. We're watching a whole lot of Star Trek. Live long and prosper. How about you?
We watched this week or last week on Hot Ones. Serena Williams was on Hot Ones.
Oh.
Another great episode of Hot Ones, and Serena's competitive, but once again, you get a massive personality, and you put them in that situation, and you just get to see a completely different side of them. Highly entertaining. I would recommend that episode.
Excellent, nice.
Yeah,
I can go. Should we talk about what we learned?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, like, you remember a couple of weeks ago when I talked about the plumbing problems at the Sigma Chi house? At the fraternity house?
Yes.
Did we talk about this?
Oh, we
talked
did.
about this on air?
The running toilet and the large water bill.
Yes. So, when I was at the house diagnosing the problem, I discovered...
I was there diagnosing the problem. I think the toilet's running. Anyway, that sounds better. Yeah, you do you. Have you jiggled it?
No.
Diagnosed.
No, they hadn't. Hence the fact that it was still running. I discovered that some of the lights and outlets in the basement were not working. So I went back to...
It's because you take the light switch off and you take the cover off the switches and water just pours. Found the water.
Hey, there it is. That's yep.
Luckily we caught it in all the electrical boxes in the basement.
So I went back to the breaker box, and 2 of the breakers in the panel, I could not get to, were popped, and I could not get them to go back and stick. I will do light electrical work. I don't do breaker boxes. It's where I draw the line.
Yeah, good idea. Yep.
So
they put those 4 screws to hold that in place for a reason. If
Yes,
they wanted you behind it, they would have just made that thing pop right off.
that's what I'm saying. So the electrician showed up yesterday morning with his handy dandy tester. And so he and I are working together to try to figure out where the problem is. Well, maybe we can just switch out the breakers themselves. Maybe the breakers, they're 21 years old. Those things do, maybe they wore out over time. Who knows? Swapped them out. No, that wasn't it. And so then he starts testing, and it's not only the lights, but also all of the outlets in the ceiling where it's the basement, which is the party room. So like you'd plug in the laser or the strobe or the extra speakers for the party, or those kinds of things. So they, all of that stuff is plugged in up in the ceiling. None of that worked. None of the lights on that side of the basement worked. Okay, well, we got to get this fixed. We got to get it fixed before school starts. What's it going to cost? So he does up the estimate, $6,900.
Yep, that's the electrician. Yep.
You
hired yourself an electrician.
Yes, I did. So I sent a text to my board, and then I also reached out to the House president, because if we're going to have to run new electrical and put in new boxes, new electrical outlets, where do we really want them? Because they're not going to go where they are, because we're not ripping up the ceiling and we're not doing drywall. We're just going to put a couple of them in. You tell me where you want them, blah, blah, blah. And Charlie says, did you check the master switch in the DJ booth? And I said, the what? Yeah. So if you go into the closet where the music runs from, what we call the DJ. Yeah, I know which closet you're talking about, Charlie. Yeah, there's a switch in there that controls all the power. You know what the funny thing about this is? I'm the only one who knows where it is.
Not getting the shaft.
You know where I come from, they call that a threat.
That's what we call that around here too. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So this morning I went back with the electrician, and we flipped the switch on we flipped the master switch in the DJ booth, and it did fix all of the outlets in the ceiling. Those are fine. The lights, however, still do need to, the line that runs to the lights, we're still going to have to replace those, but it's only going to cost us $3,500, which we're all like, oh boy, dodged a bullet there, as opposed to, had it originally been, oh my God, we got to spend $3,500, and we'd have been losing our minds. In retrospect, that now seems quaint. So that's what I learned this week. How about you? I'm sure I'll have follow-up later. How about you?
So listening to one of my other podcasts, I learned something. Well, I find this interesting. This potentially was going to be Dewayne Guess a Number, but I don't actually have the number around it, and I would probably get called out for shenanigans. So I'm going to put this in what I learned. However, Dewayne, this is an interactive portion of the show where I'm going to give you and the audience a chance to play along. On the podcast The Town, which talks about the entertainment industry, a person from Luminate, which has data on streaming shows, said he was comparing on Disney Plus for this year up until, let's just say, about a week ago, the amount of minutes spent streaming all of the Star Wars movies. So the 9 plus the 2, right? So Rogue One and Solo.
Right. Yeah.
And was comparing that to Encanto.
Okay.
Which one of those do you think has streamed more minutes this year on Disney Plus. He was using this to illustrate sort of a point, and so he was grouping the 11 Star Wars movies together. I believe it was the 11 with Encanto. Which one do you think has more minutes of streaming?
Well, because we're 230 episodes into this, and I've known you a long time, the only reason we're talking about this is because Encanto streamed more minutes. And that is unbelievable.
From an engagement standpoint, Encanto is worth so much more money to Disney Plus than the entire Star Wars movie catalog. And you go, that can't possibly be true. And then you go, wait a minute, let me think back to when our kids were we somehow burned through DVDs from playing them over and over and over again. But anyway, so apparently they didn't need. Hey, do we need more Star Wars movies? No, we don't need any of that. What do we need? I need another song from Encanto. How about this one? How about this one? We talk about Bruno. Can we do that?
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our podcast with visiting songwriter Todd Prenz wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' and the number 2. There's no G and no space. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Do not speed through there.
Unless you're an elected official. Nope.
At the right time of year. Maybe not even then. Thanks to our listeners, our sponsors, and our contributors. We appreciate you. And send your feedback. Send it to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
You know, I find it interesting. You talk about the whole not knowing there was a master switch that, sort of shut everything off. And you figured that out, earlier today, this week. And then yet this at the beginning of this show, you apparently found the master switch for the show, and you also threw that. So, hey, what this thing? Okay, and we're back. You just want to pick it up with the theme? Sure. Why don't we just pick it up with the theme?
We'll just do that. Yeah, that'll be fine. The audience would never know.
Or they do now. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, you need to start labeling those master switches. Just.
It's a good idea. I appreciate that. That's a great tip. We should do that. We'll do that. We'll label something next week. We're here. We're talking to Todd.
So also in the 1900 Olympics, they had the 200-meter obstacle race. This wasn't on land. It was in the water. So they had to dive into a pool or into a body of water. They had to climb over a pole. Then they had to go through a series where they swam under some boats and then climbed up on top of boats and then swam under other boats through an entire obstacle course that involved going under and over things to see how fast you could do a swimming obstacle course. And my thought is that only happened in 1900, but I'm going to tell you this: there are swimming events in the Seine for this Olympics, and I am telling you that there is going to be swimming under and over all sorts of stuff, and people are going to be climbing on the boats, and then they're not going to be getting back in. I'm not getting back in that. I swam. Do you see what I just swam under? No for me, sir. No.
Wee.
That's the least of your worries, is the wee.